Got real quiet in there. It got real quiet in there. It's still yelling now. I don't care. Next one. Next one. Sorry.
Oh, baby. What's going on, sports fans? JD here at JD Sports Talk. And you heard Trae Young. Feels pretty confident. And in this video, we are going to discuss what adjustments does Tom Thibodeau need to make in this series. And if you learn anything from game one, I learned three things. Number one, this is going to be a battle. These teams, by game two, these teams are not going to like each other. Number two, this is going to be a long series. And number three, this is going to be fun. This is going to be fun. So let's get ready to rumble. And if this is your first time watching, thank you for stopping by. I invite you to watch this video. And if you have not subscribed, well, give us a thumbs up if you like the video. Please consider subscribing. And if you do, make sure you hit that notification bell so that you are notified when I drop a video. Please don't forget that. Very important. Let's get right to it. We're going to go and discuss what adjustments do the New York Knicks need to make. And here we go. As you can see here, I have this as you either going to adjust or we're going home. You're going home. If you don't adjust in the playoffs, you're going home. And if you guys have watched any of these NBA playoffs, if you saw the Lakers in the play-in, if you saw the Nuggets last night, you saw, all these games that have happened so far, even the Miami Heat made some adjustments and it backfired. But at the end of the day, you have to adjust if you're going to win in the playoffs. It doesn't happen a lot, where teams go into the playoffs and literally everything that they did and the rotations exactly how they were in the season translate into the playoffs, because the playoffs is a game of matchups. You're no longer playing one team on Monday and another team on Wednesday. These teams now have scouting reports, advanced scouting reports, and they are game planning for you game to game. They are adjusting game to game. And so the New York Knicks will need to do the same. Is the honeymoon over for Tom Thibodeau? In my opinion, this series, to me, especially game two, it's on Tom Thibodeau and it's on Julius Randle. And it's very simple why. Tom Thibodeau is the head coach. He and his coaching staff and his system and leadership, his energy, just a hard work head coach, a film junkie. He is the person that has gotten us to this point from the head coaching position. And then right after that is on the court, our best player is Julius Randle. Doesn't matter who else plays well on the Hawks or the Knicks. If our best player, Julius Randle, is not playing well, and you can even say doesn't play great, Knicks don't have a shot. And so that coincides because the head coach is responsible to put the best, your best player in the best position to succeed. And when I say best position to succeed, that leads into the first adjustment that we have up here, which is lineup changes. Because a head coach in the NBA playoffs, this is different in the season. You're no longer playing a team on Monday and another team on Wednesday. In the NBA playoffs, before every playoff game starts, when the head coach is with the coaching staff and they are, in their meetings, first thing they're going to figure out is who is the group we're going to play or we're looking to play in this game. Everything goes as planned. What is the rotational group that we're looking to play? Are we going to make any lineup changes? And so I think as they now adjust into the next, game and portion of the series, this has to be seriously considered. And in my opinion, I'm starting Immanuel Quickley. And I'm starting him at the point guard position. And it doesn't mean that he has to have point guard duties, because to me, this is strictly a personnel decision. Now, with saying that, I understand that the logical And the popular decision will be to start Rose. And if Thibodeau does go that route, I have absolutely zero issue with, right? But again, if the game plan is to continue to keep Derrick Rose fresh so that he can finish the game and have some explosion left, you also have to never know if games go into overtimes and things of that nature. Do we know that Derrick Rose played 38 minutes? That was a team high. I'll say that again. He played 38 minutes, a team high. Almost played 40 minutes in the first playoff game. Now, I understand we've had some few days off, and that's probably why Tom Thibodeau made that decision. But if this is, we just have to be a little bit careful with this. And to me, in order to preserve some of that energy in the fourth quarter, and that's why I'm saying the fourth quarter, that's what I'm looking at. In the playoffs, a lot of these games, they're going to go into the fourth quarter, and it's going to come down to the last, few minutes of the game. And so to me, it's important to keep them as fresh as you can. And in my opinion, starting Quickley still allows you to keep him in the rotation, right? Because now Elfrid Payton is only playing 8 minutes. There was a point where Elfrid Payton was playing 27 minutes, and I said, don't mess with it. That has a trickle-down effect. Then he was playing 21 minutes. Don't mess with it. It has a trickle-down effect. Then, if you guys recall, just very recently, this thing got to 14 to 17 minutes. And even then, you still said, it's only 17 minutes. Don't mess with it. But after game one of the NBA playoffs, only playing 8-9 minutes, I think it's to a point now where if the minutes are going to be that low, it doesn't hurt you. Quickly play 21 minutes in game one. Just give him those extra 8 minutes. Play him 28, 29. 21 minutes that he played was still a little higher than what Thibodeau played him during the season. So you can actually see that Tom Thibodeau had a lot of confidence in Quickley in game one with the minutes that he played, and Quickley rewarded him with a very good game. And I would build off that, and I would start him in game two. Again, this is for strictly personnel reasons. I'm not with the whole Elfrid Payton 3-hour discussions and things that, are going around and all that, wild stuff. I'm just looking at it strictly respectfully as a personnel decision. If you're the head coach, listen, the thing that you have to worry about here in game two and you have to be concerned about is you want Julius Randle to get off to a better start. So even Elfrid Payton's 4 minutes, that could still impact Julius Randle's start. And so you don't want the Atlanta Hawks to get a head start in their schemes and gain confidence after 3 or 4 minutes that, now we're getting into his head. Because that is a worry of mine going into game two. If, all it takes is for you to miss 2 or 3 shots, right? At the beginning of a game for you to say, well, it's going to be an off night. That's all it takes. There's some players that are just like that. They're rhythm players. And so as a head coach, I am looking to, create the best possible spacing and the best possible options so that Julius Randle, as we head into number 2, can improve his decision making. Julius Randle has to improve decision makings. Now, as our top player and high usage rate player, all NBA stars have a bunch of turnovers. I'm not one to hold, high turnovers against a player, because I understand that when you have the ball as much as you do during the game, you're going to have turnovers. But Julius Randle has to decrease, critical turnovers at critical points of the game. And I think that will be the next step into him, having a more effective series. And for his own personal development is, sometimes he tends to have, key turnovers, critical turnovers in key moments of the game. And, LeBron James and some of these other elite players, although they do have high turnovers, that is one facet of the game that they have improved on, is their IQ just shoots up at critical points of the game. And we saw some stuff there at the end of the third quarter with Julius Randle and other points of the game. And so to me, Julius Randle has to improve his decision making. I think only just that, just by, making better decisions, I think he already is going to have a better game. I think the team feeds off that, because the Atlanta Hawks will continue the scheme that they played in game one. and where they're going to play this little soft zone kind of spy, throw a spy out there. And these defenses are designed to have you hesitate. That's what it's designed for you to hold the ball a second or two longer, for you to think more. And it's designed to cause you to rush your decision, your shots. And so we saw a little bit of that. And I think if he can make quicker decisions, and if we as a as a team, and Tom Thibodeau can surround him from the jump, from the start, don't waste any minutes. From the start, you surround him with the best possible personnel, then you're going to put your best player in a position to start the game off well and to succeed. And that is your responsibility as a head coach. That's why, unfortunately, Elfrid Payton just doesn't fit that game plan with the way that I'm presenting to you now what should be the mindset going into game 2 and the rest of the series. And that's why I would make the move. I would go with Quickley, because when you look at Quickley and you hope that RJ and Bullock improve their shootings, that's 3 potential options that can hit a 3-point shot for Randle to start the game and create and have some more spacing. And I also think it helps his decision making, because unfortunately when Elfrid Payton is on the floor, hurts me to say, but it does look like it's 5-on-4, and you just wonder if, again, to start the game, even if it's a couple minutes, you just wonder that when they play this zone, how confident is Julius Randle in making better decisions. And maybe if you surround him with more shooting and more spacing, he can lead to more effective play. We have to attack Trae Young. We have to get physical. And the Hawks are not dumb. They see what adjustments the Knicks will make, right? So what they'll do is they're probably going to hide Trae Young on Reggie Bullock, right? Well, you know how you counter Knicks? You run Trae Young around, you run Reggie Bullock around. Even if Reggie Bullock is not going to take the shot, just make Trae move, make him run, make him get hit by contact, make him go through screens. And if he is guarding Derrick Rose, you attack. If he is guarding Quickley, well, you have Quickley run around and let him go to screens. You just want Trae Young to feel some contact on his muscles. Let him feel that, so when the fourth quarter comes, it's like in football. You run the ball, and in the fourth quarter, those linebackers, the defensive linemen, they're a little tired. They're a little exhausted from all the beating they took in the first 3 quarters of the game. And so it's the same execution in the NBA. You just make him go. He's not the strongest or tallest of players. Just play physical. I think a key thing is the NBA did let the Knicks play. We didn't see a lot of those funny calls with Trae Young, and Trae Young did attempt to do that. The refs ain't call it. Take advantage of that. Get physical with him. Make him go through screens. Attack him. And if he's covering a guy that's not a playmaker like Reggie Bullock, then have Reggie Bullock run around through screens as if he's, going to take a 3-point shot. Run him a screens like if he's Ray Allen. I'm not saying he is Ray Allen, but I'm just saying run him through screens. Let him run around. Reggie Bullock has done that a lot around the top of the key. So just do that. And we don't have to design the play for him, but we surely want Trae Young to move and not stand on the corner and rest for the 24th second of a shot clock, right? The last thing is RJ and Reggie Bullock shooting. You're not going to win many games with them shooting a combined 1 for 11 from 3, right? Reggie Bullock did not make a 3. RJ was 1 for 6. RJ's going to have to fix his first half, slow starts. But even if he is a little bit of a slow starter, as long as you're hitting the 3, this series, in my opinion, is going to be decided a lot also on your 3-point shooting. You have to hit those 3s. And so Reggie Bullock and RJ, if I'm the head coach, I'm looking to get them going as well. And you're going to need them to make, those 3s in order for you to have a chance to win this game. And so there it is. These are the 4 things that I think, the Knicks need to do, and some of the things we need from a few of these players in order for the Knicks to get back in the series. I don't think you could go down 2-0, which means that game 2, in my opinion, is a must win. You allow the Hawks to go into Atlanta with a 2-0 lead. You got to believe they're going to get one in Atlanta. Now you're talking about a 3-1 series and looking at making history. I don't want to be in that position. I know you guys don't want to be in that position. And so that is why you have to make adjustments, because you can't look at it like, oh, it's a long series. Well, it won't be if we lose another game and we just lost home court. So if you guys believe that game 2 is a must win, if you believe that, then why not make adjustments? Why not make these adjustments, right? Because in other words, you believe game 2 is a must win, then you're thinking of it as a do or die situation. Adjust or go home. So I'm looking at, Tom Thibodeau to make some little tweaks. As you see here, this is not crazy. This is not major adjustments, because at the end of the day, there is something to be said about you continuing to be who you are. But you can be who you are and still make some adjustments. You can be who you are, still make a little tweak to the lineups. It's happened in the NBA playoffs. It happens all the time. So, guys, thank you for watching. I can't wait to see how this series unfolds. Let me know who you guys are going to start. Do you agree with me and you taking the chance on Quickley? Do you build off his game 1 performance and you say, hey, let's build off that. Let's insert him into the starting lineup. We're not asking him to be a point guard. We're just asking him to be an off-ball shooter with the starting lineup. Then you allow Rose to come in and you still keep intact your game plan. You're just starting a 21-year-old from Kentucky that, if he showed anything in game 1, is the moment's not going to be too big for him, right? And Quickley has some energy. At the very least, you get a little jolt. And again, it's a personnel decision to get your best player going, not at the 7-minute mark when you make a substitution to Rose. From the very beginning, you give him a head start, you give him some confidence, and maybe, as NBA is a rhythm game, you get your best player in rhythm from the jump. I'm JD. This is JD Sports Talk, and I'll see you guys in the next video.